Hey guys, alright. So, welcome back to another cast with Trend Following Tyson. I thought I would give you guys something on this Saturday. I know out here west it's a little early. It's still early in the day, and out in the east it's getting a little bit late. But nevertheless, with that being said, so I've got some criteria. We're gonna go through some right now. I'm gonna show you guys a few things, but also we're just gonna pick up on the trends where we left off. We're gonna make sure we know where we're at coming into the week. That way we kind of have a game plan. You never want to go into the market looking for plays. You just kind of want to have your game plan situated. Look at any professional baseball, football, basketball, any team for that matter. I mean, they're not going over the plays of what they're going to do on their opponent like on Sunday tomorrow. They're not going to be like barely getting their game plan together. They're gonna, everyone has their plays and everyone's getting ready, so we should have a game plan coming into the market. But I just wanted to just throw some dabbles on there. So I got some things I'm going to show you guys right now. So one thing I wanted to show you guys was we do a lot of trend following here, but for the most part our trends never end up here. Our trends for the most part are never going to end up on this side of things. We were trading ECYT, and we had a stop below, and we kind of started falling back, so to speak, away from that as that earnings thing was coming up Monday or something like that. It had earnings or Thursday or Friday, but we were already kind of aware that something weird was going on with ECYT, so we were already aware of that, and we had some stops in there, and that's why it's for some of these things we only have a small portion allocated to these trends. We don't have 70% of our account into one trend. We have I wouldn't say no more than 10 to 20% of your account, overall account value, into one trend, right? And then and that's going to give you about 10. That's going to give you guys about 5 to 10 positions, okay? And depending on the activity in those trends is where you're allocating your weight to, so to speak. But for the most part, for us, our trends normally never end up here. We never following none of this stuff. This is the first time something that we've been following actually ended up over here in a long time. And this is because of earnings and all this deal. So when earnings and stuff like that goes away, these stocks are going to be inside their normal behavior. And most of the time, most of the time, our stocks never end up in this red side. They're always over here, or they're always consistent. Even if they have some pullbacks, they're regular 2 to 3 to 5% pullbacks. Sometimes those may be stacked up on each other in a few days or so, okay? But for the most part, you guys know these trends need to pull back and they need to move forward. They need to pull and move. We need to be riding these waves. Remember, we saw a quote from ECYT. He said, if you put your hands in the water, that's good. That's like trading. If you want to know what trading is like, good trading is like, you go put your hands in the ocean and you feel the waves. And what I'm guesstimating he means by that is you just ride the predominant. So and that leads me to my other point I wanted to tell you guys. So that also when I showed you guys, I know that I know a lot of people didn't watch it because it's kind of like in the middle of the week and we kind of do this thing. It was kind of like at the last part of the week that showed that I did Thursday coming into Friday. But anyways, you guys know from the last 10 shows we've been following XENE, right? So here it is right here, popping up on, and remember, what did I tell you guys about this stock? It didn't have a a lot of value in it. Remember when we were looking at it? I said this stock doesn't have a super amount of value in it, but nevertheless, it has been moving quite well. And we kept looking at it. It was on like the 5-day and stuff like that. And we were like, well, it doesn't see how bloody it is on this 5-day. It's always looking like this, just because there's not a lot of volume. There's not a super amount of traders. As you see, it's starting to get thicker. You see these candles starting to not be as thin, starting to get some more volatility, some more volume, some more traders coming into this thing. But there's not a lot of people following, but nevertheless, look at it. And what did it do? What did it do the day we were looking at it? It opened up at 13 the day we were looking at it. Let me see. looked at it Thursday coming into the week. So yeah, the day that we were looking at it Thursday, right, was right here. It opened up at 13, okay, went up to 1575, closed at 1420, okay, XENE. And what did I show you guys about XENE? When we were looking at it, we said it's just kind of really wavy, kind of like what ECYT was saying, just ride this wave up and down, and there it is, business as usual, guys. So we're not jumping to the trend picture just yet. I wanted to show you guys that. So there you have that part. All right. So for the most part, our trends are going to be green. We're going to be following consistent higher. That's why we have. So when you're riding the predominant trend, even if you were, this is the of course the predominant trend is up. Look at this. Okay, this is our number one thing. But when you're riding if you're trading, you want to be trading with the predominant trend. You want to be like a surfer. You want to be riding with the wave, okay? You want to be like a surfer. You want to be riding this predominant trend. But even if you were riding this predominant trend, you're winning, in my opinion, your winning percentage in trend following when using these type of techniques is going to be higher than just someone who's buying and selling inside of all types of noise, unless you have a really strict day trading process. But your probabilities and your chances and your winning percentages are going to be higher using these trend following techniques. And the techniques I'm talking about is on this trend, of course, you would be better off not really necessarily buying the breakout. You'd be better off buying the pullbacks, looking at this trend. So if you were to trade with the predominant trend and you just bought this thing, and even if you forgot about it, okay, and you had a stop below here, so you're trading with the predominant trend. If you bought this thing here, set you a stop below it here in case things got a little funky, and you never got bumped out of this thing and prices went in your favor, you were trading with the predominant trend. So it works. It's gonna work in your favor about 7 out of 10 times. Okay, most of these trends are going to be continuing. So I wanted to show you guys that fact about trading with the predominant trend. Okay, so let's get ready to jump. Let me show you guys something before we jump into the trend picture. John W. Henry, owner of the Florida Marlins baseball team, is a legendary trader and a former farmer. He opened his first managed account with $16,000. Since then, John Henry has earned over $500 million in his trading career and as a trend follower. I think this is the guy that bought the yeah, he's the owner of the Florida Marlins. Okay. ECYT, trading as a trend follower. ECYT is famous for turning 5,000 into 15 million over 12 years. And that's when we were looking at this guy's last show. That's where the 250,000% return came in. Okay. So John W. Henry, I thought he had bought the that Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals team as well, okay? And he won a championship with those Cardinals too, okay? And as you see, he owned the Florida Marlins, and you know this guy used trend following principles. Turned $16,000 into $500 million, okay? So don't give me crap about these trend following processes not being up to par, not being everything that they should be, because they damn well are, okay? All right, so with that being said, that was beautiful. That was really nice. Let's go ahead and jump. So let's go ahead and jump into the trend picture, guys. All right. So you guys know inside of trend following, I forgot to show you guys the AZ quotes thing. So sorry about that. Really quick. Just let me give you guys a quick blatant fact. All right. Here this is real fast. I'm gonna give you guys this juice. All right, here it is. I'm gonna give you guys this juice. The market. This is from Richard Dennis, one of my favorite trend followers, one of my favorite kind of gentlemen to kind of learn and kind of, you know, kind of resemble. The market being in a trend is the main thing that eventually gets us in a trade. That is a pretty simple idea. Being consistent and making sure you do that all the time is probably more important than the particular characteristics used to define the trend. Okay? Making sure you do that all the time is probably more important than the particular characteristics you use to define the trend. Okay? We need to be getting into these trends. Whatever method you use to enter trades, the most critical thing is that if there is a major trend, your approach should ensure that you get in that trend. It's that simple. All right, it's that simple. Let's get back into it. Let's get back into business. ARWR. Remember, I showed you guys this thing coming into the week. See what it did. See what it did after that day. So it gapped up here, and then I think it had some follow through also. It gapped up and it had some follow through. Okay. So it gapped up here, and then I think prices tried to continue and kind of found their self here. So there's some strength there on ARWR. Looks really nice. Put yourself a stop below that support level. All this is really about is buying and selling support. Buying support, riding through resistance, buying breakouts through resistance, all that kind of stuff. Buying pullbacks and long-term downtrends, okay? But I just gave you guys some secret sauce about some of these legend trend followers. I like this AMRS. I like for it to find support, which is kind of looks like it's doing here. Kind of seeing some green coming in here. So you're seeing some traders starting to get ready to push. This thing may get ready to start here. So you see it always has pullbacks and continues. It always has little pullbacks and continues. It always has little pullbacks and continues. It always has pullbacks here and continues. So here we are here, pullback here. We're waiting for some continuation and to bump us up back through 9. I got a large position here in AMRS with the stop below. Okay, I'm long on this trend. I actually added up here through this breakout, and prices came down on themselves. I added to this breakout here, which I actually showed you guys it here, and I just didn't have enough free capital to buy this thing. So I showed you guys this thing here because we already knew it was pulling back, and it already eats its pullback up. It eats its pullbacks up. So it started eating the pullback up here, and then it came back, and I just wasn't able to catch this. But I caught this breakout, and then prices started to retreat here, so I had to kind of knock a percentage of, I knocked about 50% off. So as soon as this thing sets another higher high up through this area here, 45 and 55, I'm going to take another position and kind of ride that thing and then let those shares just sit there. Okay, XENE, I just showed you guys this thing coming in just to make a valid point when we started the show. This is very beautiful stock. XENE looks wonderful here. Bada bing, bada boom. Just goes to show you guys. What did I tell you guys about this? What was the point I was making to you guys? I said, regardless of the market giving us this bloodbath, I said I like to look at stocks that are showing some resilience in that. And what did I say? I said XENE was one of those stocks that was showing us some resilience, along with El Pollo Loco and RUBI and FNKO and TNDM. Are some other stocks that are pretty resilient in these type of, I don't know what kind of weirdness is going on. Maybe Trump had to sneeze, or he's having an argument with somebody out of the country or something. I don't know. I don't follow too much politics and too much news. Okay, so XENE just did exactly, I mean, you guys saw it popped up on FinViz. When our stocks start popping up on those FinViz scanners and a lot of other scanners to show the momentum and all the things that they're pushing, that is a major key that we are right where we should be. And I have a position on XENE, of course I do. Okay, so I enjoyed that movement to the top on Friday and through the week. It's good to have kind of like a safe haven outside of the bloodbaths. Okay, so kind of, and that was another reason that made me buy XENE a long time ago in the first place. Why I started opening longs on XENE a while ago in the first place, because it always showed this consistency in its price movement. It always showed this consistency in this little wave here, even though it has its little pullbacks here. And one other thing I like to tell you guys is that just doing good trend following is really going to give you guys some gut. It's going to develop you some gut, because you're going to have to learn how to sit through these pullbacks and just trust the pattern that it's going to keep fulfilling as it has been doing. And if you were trading XENE, you developed a lot of hard guts, a lot of hard, a lot of some will, a lot of emotional stability from being long on this thing and watching it pull back and curl, watching it pull back and curl, watching it pull back and set higher highs, pull back and curl. So here it is again. Made this little tiny curl here, had its little upper, wait for the curl to come in, and this thing's probably just going to keep continuing, man. XENE, very special stock, very resilient, very safe haven right now. Really good thing. I like this RCM. Let me see what time frame this is on. I like this RCM. I actually like a long in this area here. Let's pull back, see how things are looking. It's not going to look the best. Oh, you see some pretty decent looking on the 5-day. Not too bad. Not too bad. So we got some trading inside this thing. So I like this thing. Let's see. So on the monthly, looks like we kind of found support here from this 9 lower level, and we're kind of trying to find some continuation. This pattern, and to my opinion, you guys, I always think that trends are going to continue if the predominant is already up to the upside. See how this predominance to the upside? It's not going to continue when you want it to, but it's going to continue. And your job is to find the relative positions inside the pattern for you to take the longs on it, right? For you to enjoy these upsides. So I take a long here, and if you get stopped out, big deal. I'd put a stop at 9, depicting off that monthly and off this 5-day. I'd take a stop at 9 because it hasn't touched below 9 yet. So I'd like to take 9 on this thing, take an entry on this thing now, since it's at the bottom part of this curl. When we pan out, we see it's at the bottom part of this kind of whirling and curling business, and it's at the bottom part of this kind of channel, so to speak. We could basically draw a channel from there, from here all the way up to here. So it's at the bottom part. I like this thing for a long. Stop at 9 RCM to get going on that. Right, Pollo Loco, a beautiful stock here. It's right around the corner. I could go buy food there if I wanted to. This thing is showing some resilience inside of this bloodbath that's going on. Kind of like a safe haven for people. People like me, good trend followers. So it obviously broke out of this upper shell here, but if you were trading this thing back here, you understood that there was some good stuff cooking up with some consistency in the price action here. So really nice looking on this stock here, okay? Really nice looking. Alright, so El Pollo Loco looking really nice. As you see, that thing just trending up, kind of got parabolic. Alright, kind of got parabolic. So El Pollo Loco looking nice. Put yourself a stop. Don't have it too tight. Give these things some time, some room to wiggle and shake. And this thing may start its kind of little. See this trend right here? See what it likes to do? It likes to kind of whirl just like XENE. All right, this thing pattern looks just like XENE. And it's not just El Pollo Loco and XENE that look like this. If you look at Amazon, let me show you something real quick. If you look at Amazon. If you look at Amazon, all right, look at that trend, okay? It's just not XENE. It's just not XENE. It's just not RCM. It's just not El Pollo Loco. It's just not Amazon. It's just not Apple. This is the normal locomotive when these things are trading to the top. This is normal upside volatility. These things need to pull back. This is what riding waves is about, okay? Back to the trend picture. I just like to give you guys some valid points, okay? So use these support levels. My son knows these support levels. He's like 12. He doesn't know them completely, but he's pretty darn good. These support levels are like the keys. The keys, all right? Here we go with NIHD. Remember I told you guys it would start respecting this structure, and it is. You could take a long on this thing still to keep enjoying this ride if you haven't took a long yet. No telling when this thing's going to bounce off this support level and bang and just start set another little rocket space like this. You want to be long on it. You want to be riding the predominant trend when it does do that. You don't want to be in la-la land, you know, with your fingers in your butt, kind of daydreaming. And the teacher's like, Sean, and you're over here daydreaming about the girl that's sitting next to you in class. Like, don't be that guy that's daydreaming about Melissa Rutherford from 3rd grade, and the teacher has to snap you out of it. Meanwhile, these trends are consistently setting higher highs and lows, okay? So CDMO, I like this thing to hold up. As you can see, the consistency, like I just got done telling you guys, these things aren't going to trade when you want them to. You need to be putting your hands inside the water and understanding where these waves are moving and move with these waves. We're going to be moving with these waves, okay? You need to be moving with these waves. So, you know, CDMO. All right? ADMA, just another. I'm showing you guys some consistency so that we can ride this out through September. We already enjoyed a huge move on XENE. We've already enjoyed some consistency in FNKO. All right. We're waiting for some upside in AMRS. Okay, we're waiting for some upside in RUBI, so let's just keep taking these signals. That's the only thing we can do. We can't predict anything. The best thing we can do for ourselves is just keep taking these signals. We can't predict a darn thing. Only thing we can do is keep taking these signals. And hopefully one of these ones will be a good home run. Like the ones we've been following for several months now. Okay? ADMA, I like that thing. For continuation, just watch how that behaves. This may be coming in towards this pulling back area. So watch that this thing could clearly pull back towards $6 or $5.50. So watch that. I wouldn't take a long on that just now, but just understand that thing's definitely. Let's tighten the picture up and see what we got. Yeah, I wouldn't take a long on that thing just now. It looks like it's ready to do its little pull back and dip and move up thing. So it already did its big move up here. Okay, you kind of missed it. If you're riding the wave, if you're putting your hands in the ocean and you're riding a wave, you'd notice that wave is coming towards you. It wouldn't be the right time to kind of jump on your belly and kind of do your whole diving thing, okay? So we're looking really good on NSU to the upside. Still gapped up. Remember I told you guys showed you this thing kind of late. I saw it. Then the next day I said, damn it, before the show came on, it already gapped up in price of good 50 cents. Maybe that was about 25 to about 15, 16% gap up on that thing. So watch NSU to hold the support. And I don't know how long. And sometimes when these stocks gap up, they take a while to digest this. This thing could consolidate all the way up to here before it decides to set another higher high. But in my opinion, I take a long here for it to hold this support level and see if it's going to start setting some higher highs coming in. Okay, NSU. I like RUBI. I'm long on this thing, RUBI. I like this thing RUBI here to continue. Oh yeah, so here it is. Boom. I told you guys, anyone that follows my Twitter, I told you I started opening up longs on RUBI with the stop below here. I think I had to stop at like 355, 350, and I never got bunted out this thing. So I missed this whole move, but you guys know this is our secret sauce. Strength on that 1 year. It's kind of like that strong emoji. When you type in strong and that strong emoji comes in and the guy has his arm buff like this, buff with the little, you know, his arm curled. This is kind of like RUBI. It's kind of showing that little strong emoji right here on the 1 year. As you see, I have three things that I look for in my longs. I need prices to have 3 consistent higher highs and lows. I prefer mostly for the 20 to be over the 200-day moving average, and then I prefer for that 200-day moving average to start pointing up. And then if you can catch that 220 while they're crossing, while the 20 is crossing the 200 to the upside, like we have right here, that's a beautiful thing. You can really get some nice movement if you can catch these kind of MAs crossing. I don't trade moving averages, I only trade price. But what I'm saying is prices, a lot of times price is confirmed by these moving averages, but I like to just trade price. But I started, so since I thought, I seen the pattern here, upside, pullback. You guys know upside, same thing we always look at. Upside, pullback here, and I found, okay, we're finding support here. So I started taking my chances with the rest of these longs that are taking their chances on taking this long for this trend. Buyers are starting to buy this. Buyers are like, okay, that's enough. Let's let this trend continue here, okay? So RUBI, I like that thing long to kind of keep it bustling out, okay? FNKO. Here we go. Come on, guys. Give me FNKO. Whoa! Look at that. Looks like TNDM, doesn't it? Jesus Christ. Whoa! Whoa, guys. Look at that. Jesus. Woo! World class, guys. Hey. World class. What'd I say? Hey, for anybody who don't believe, what do we teach here, though? Take your longs, ride your trends until further notice. Ride your waves until further notice. Keep your positions. Keep your shares. I don't care if you keep 50, you keep 100, 200, 250, 1,000, 1,050, 1,500, keep some shares inside of these. If you bought 10,000 shares of FNKO at 12 when we started showing it to you guys, if you bought it at 12 when we started showing it to you, right? Say you bought 10,000 shares at 12, okay? And you said, all right, that's enough. Excuse me. And you knocked off 75% of your position here. At 13, somebody said, okay, that's enough. I'm going to let the rest of my position ride out. You still have about 2,500 shares. You still have about 2,000 shares. You still have some over 1,000 shares. Looking if you had let those shares run. If you'd let that trend just ride out. Look at that. FNKO. Right? Jesus Christ. That is a home run. If I think I've ever seen a home run, that is beyond a home run. That's TNDM all over again. Let's go. Alright? You guys know what we in this business for. You guys seen Paul Tudor Jones, ECYT, the rest of these beautiful trend followers? How in the hell do you think that they're making these huge percentage returns? By doing what we're doing right here. By doing what we're doing with FNKO, by doing what we're doing with XENE, by doing what we're doing with TNDM. How do you think we're doing this? Okay? Speaking of home runs like TNDM, look at the resemblance here. Let me show you something real quick. Let me just show you strength while we ride strength out. Why this is our #1 pattern. This right here. No head and shoulders, no jack in the box popping out of the box, no freaking dipping and dive around the corner of the little ghost Batman structure. None of that. Just simple highs and highs. No looking back to check the other screen. Oh, let me see where the volume is. Let me see where this all 10 things. No. You don't need 20 freaking things to match up when you just look at price and say, okay, price to the upside. I see this little airplane lift off. I'm long here with the stop below it. Hey, you don't need 100 things to match up. Boom. That's where the big money's made. Look at FNKO. Now look at TNDM. Okay? TNDM, FNKO. FNKO, TNDM. I could do this all night. I can do this all night. You want me to keep doing this? You want me to keep doing this? FNKO. I can do this all night. TNDM, okay? I'm not teaching my kids right now. I'm teaching you guys. I teach my kids stocks too. Look at this. Look at this. TNDM. FNKO. Okay? Is there a resemblance here? Is anybody catching this? Lifting off of the launch pad. Look at where we caught TNDM at. We caught it when it was starting to lift off. I said, damn, this thing's lifting up. Boom! Took along. Look at that. So enjoy FNKO. Sorry, I got a little carried away. But, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Wow! World class, man. World class. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. ECYT. So let's just keep following these home runs, guys. Out through I don't know if ECYT has earnings or something like that coming up. And if I was trading this thing, I probably would have got stopped out when it broke this support level. If I didn't let most of my positions, when I take a large position, okay, that's 100% of my positions there. I have it, okay. When trends start working in my favor, I may knock off 70%, 60% of my trend and let the rest ride. When I let the rest ride, I don't micromanage it. I just let it ride its own out, and I let it stop itself out on moving averages and stuff like that, price levels and support and stuff like that. Or I put an ATR -2, ATR give it 2 levels behind the first support level. So if this was at whatever the ATR is, okay, so see if we were right here, whatever the ATR would be, this would be my support level. So I give it 1 ATR below the support level and then I'm out, okay? That's the price of doing business. So WWE, and we're going to get ready to wrap it up here. All right, remember I told you guys I'd like to buy this and let this be a stop level right here, and just kind of don't micromanage that thing. Just buy it and let it go, okay? $85 stop on WWE, okay? I like ROKU and YEXT before I close up, and I'll be able to see you guys back. Wow. Let me make another valid point about us following trends and what we know exactly what the hell we're talking about. I saw this thing when it was pulling back way over here, and I said, I'm pretty sure this thing's trying to attempt. You remember what I told you guys? When a stock comes, he's like, okay. He got knocked down here, and he came back, he got knocked down. He said, all right. The quarterback's like, blue, no, red 55, red 55. And he comes over here, he's like, red 55, saying, okay, he's calling a red 55. He's obviously trying to figure out a way to get through this level here. And obviously, it's exactly what they, red 55, and boom, he's right through there, okay? So there it is. You got to notice these stocks when they're kind of trying to figure out how they can get to the next level, especially when price is already, the predominant is already to the upside. Stocks just want to carry that momentum to the upside, even if it has to knock out a major support level. Remember we showed you guys YEXT about 2 months ago? Remember we said this was a beautiful, lovely, special thing here? Well, it still is. YEXT. This isn't a biochemical. He's like, oh, well, you trade as bios. No, we trade restaurants. We trade everything. We just trade price. We don't have a special selection for what we're going to trade. I'm not like, oh, guys, we're going to choose 5 bios for oil material companies, 5 internet providers. No, wherever price is at, we're just following price. That's it. If price is in the biochemicals, we may have more bios than we normally would have, okay? So let's go. Alright, so we'll be back. I'll see you guys here back on in the middle of the week. We'll see how things go, but this is some firepower for you guys to trade off of right here, okay? Happy trend following, and let's see who's going to be the next Ed Psychota, the next Richard Dennis. I may beat you guys to the punch. The next Larry Tintorelli. Let's see who's going to be the next, alright? But happy trend following, guys, okay? Manage that risk and trade that predominant, ride these waves like a surfer. Alright? See you guys. Enjoy the weekend.